Hi guys! Today we are going to Florence. Oh my god, one of the things that you shouldn't miss going here in Florence is to see Michelangelo's David. When I saw him, I really fell head over heels for this astonishing sculpture, and I swear I couldn't get my eyes off of him. My husband was already getting jealous, and so he tried to copy him and tried to argue with me between Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci as the greatest artist of all time. Oh, my head is hurting. Anyway, make sure to buy your tickets ahead of time before going in, either through a website or through a tour provider to avoid long lines. I mean, look at these people. It's already going to take you an hour to wait. But if you don't have a ticket, there are legit tour providers on the street with their IDs selling the skip the line tickets that comes with a 2-hour tour with a tour guide. Okay, let's talk about Michelangelo's David. Michelangelo's David is the ultimate symbol of Renaissance. It stands under a dome and stands at a height of 14 feet, and it took him 3 years to complete it. If you don't know the story of David and Goliath, I'm going to tell you the ballpark. Basically, David's figure came from the Bible story, and barbarian warriors surrounded Israelites led by a giant named Goliath. The giant challenged the Israelites to send someone to fight him, and David was the only one brave enough to fight him. He was only armed with a sling and a stone in the pouch. Okay, in this very impressive sculpture, as David's slicing up the enemy and preparing to fight the giant. Okay, I think this is a little bit controversial because there are other people think that Michelangelo created David as if he had slayed the giant, but this one doesn't show the giant's head. So in this figure, he still looks relaxed but alert, and his right hand he's touching the stone, ready to fling it at the giant. Notice the right big hand that he has. This represents the hand of a man powered by strength of God. No boy could slay the giant, but David, powered by God, could and did it. Now there are other proportions that are off in this sculpture because initially it was supposed to stay at the entrance of Palazzo Vecchio, which we are going to go later, and it is the reason why there's only a replica outside of it. But the off proportions was meant to be in the right proportion when seen from the street level outside Palazzo Vecchio. Lining the hall before going to David are the statues called the prisoners or slaves. Michelangelo believed that God put the beautiful figures in the marble and his job was only to chip away the excess to reveal them. How cool is that? At the end of the hall is the Salone dell'Ottocento, a long room filled with plaster statues and busts made by Academy art students for final exams. Inside the same museum where Michelangelo's David is, you'll also see Giambologna's Rape of the Sabines. It is made of marble and is supposedly the first 360-degree sculpture, meaning that going around it, you'll see movement in different angles. It shows the legend of when the ancient Romans stole women from a neighboring tribe to propagate their growing empire. Here, a Roman warrior tramples a Sabine husband as he carries off the man's wife. Husband and wife exchange their final anguished glance. Okay, let's now go to Piazza della Signora. In this piazza, you'll see the Loggia dei Lanzi. It is an open-air sculptures gallery of Renaissance art and Medici lines. You'll also find here the replica of the Rape of Sabine Women by Giambologna. Okay, this is an open-air sculpture gallery, so you don't need a ticket to go here. Also here in this piazza, this is where the Palazzo Vecchio is located, or the city's town hall. If you want to go inside, you can visit the museum and make sure you get to the tower, so you should be able to get about the same viewpoint that you'll get from the Il Duomo. Speaking of Il Duomo, let's go to Santa Maria del Fiore. It is one of the most famous cathedrals in Italy due to its dome, or the Il Duomo, and is one of the more popular attractions in Florence. But in high season around August, when we also went, it's packed with people and waiting in line is very long. Please buy your ticket ahead of time through the website or through tour providers, and don't get the same mistake that we didn't in essentially missing one of Florence's best. But in case you missed it, you should still see it from the outside to feel the immensity and see the beauty of this cathedral. Okay, next up is the popular Ponte Vecchio. I'm sorry. Okay, as I was saying, Ponte Vecchio is one of the popular tourist destinations in Florence. The name means old bridge because it is the oldest bridge in Florence. The bridge is full of workshops and it's overflowing with gold shops with rings, watches, and many other kinds of jewels, making it as one of the top places to shop in Florence. Ah, yes, now we get to one of my favorite places in Florence is the Misuri. Misuri is a leather shop and the oldest establishment in the district, and it used to be the site of tanneries and leather factories. It is located in Santa Croce and have a wide variety of different styles of purses, jackets, shoes, and accessories you'll see. This is where we really spent the bulk of our time in Florence. Probably 2 hours, as my husband said, but it only felt like an hour to me. I mean, as a woman who loves bag, you're in Florence, known for their leather goods, and maybe one of the things you can afford to miss is to buy some leather bags, right? Raise your hand if you're guilty. Thank you. Like I have probably said earlier, it is one of the oldest leather store in Florence. They have their own gold leather gilding where you can have your three initials stamped in 22 karat gold on your purse. How cool is that? I definitely had mine stamped as well as my sisters and my mom's, which I got for them. I love, love, love all the bags I got from them. 2 hours, as my husband said, was worth it for me. Last but not the least, we go to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, located behind the Pisa Cathedral. In the 12th century, during its construction, it started tilting on one side because the foundation was too soft and couldn't support the structure's weight. And the tilting increased as the construction turned into completion in 14th century. But when I saw it, I was wondering why it was not really tilted. And after reading stuff about it on the internet, they have done a restoration work on it in 1990s to 2001. It is now only leaning for about 3.99 degrees, where it used to be leaning for about 5.5 degrees. Thank you so much for watching. Read the description below to see or read about our experience in Florence. Where did we get our tickets going into the Academia Museum, and what else we did, and probably tips on how to get to the trains and how to go around the Florence. So make sure to check that out, and don't forget to subscribe and maybe like or comment what you think about the video, and we'll see you guys soon in the next video.